Right now, what we have over there is tension without escalation. And Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, is obviously playing a delicate yet dangerous chess game. He's making very small moves, minor moves, which do not justify lethal responses by Israel. Had a Lebanese citizen or a Hezbollah fighter been killed by an Israeli shooter, obviously it would have escalated. But what is obviously happening is that Nasrallah must show his constituents in Tehran as well as in Beirut that the resistance, the Muqawama, is still operating. Now, what's to resist? Israel has left South Lebanon 17 years ago. Actually, the war, the Second Lebanese War, started 17 years ago last week. And the only place, especially after the maritime dispute was solved, the only place which is in dispute is in that godforsaken piece of territory, Jabal Rus, or Mount Dov, as your reporter had it in the Israeli parlance, which is in dispute between Syria and Lebanon, not only between the various Arab neighbors that Israel has, but between these two Arab countries. Now, should there be a full peace agreement, probably, most probably, this piece of territory would be returned to whoever is justifying their claim to it. But for the time being, this is held by Israel, and therefore the tents and the other minor provocations, they are only meant to show that the resistance is still there.
So Nasrallah has his base or bosses, and the Israeli government also has its base and its right wing. So can we see a situation where both sides somehow miscalculate and drive themselves into a full-blown war?
Yes, this unfortunately could happen and can still happen, but this will have to do with the interface between the military echelon, the professionals, and the political echelon. Now, the right wing, which you referred to, is more concerned with the West Bank, with the first item you had in your report. What is happening between the terrorists and the settlers, what is happening in the settler community at large, the new settlements which the right wing demands. And because they have to prioritize, Lebanon can wait.
So any danger of miscalculation in all of this?
The miscalculation can come if Nasrallah misjudges the Israeli restraint, or if the Israeli cabinet votes for a show of force in this particular sector. And there are voices, retired generals, for instance, people who are not in the decision-making loop, who claim that eventually Israel will have to crush Hezbollah. So better to pick the right time and to land a surprise blow on the organization before it can reorganize and start something on its own. So obviously such talk can also percolate to the cabinet, but right now it is not in the majority.
And if you can imagine a war between Israel and Hezbollah, it's a major war.
A war between Israel and an Iranian proxy like Hezbollah will most possibly let the Iranians choose other proxies to Israel. Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Hamas, some militias in Syria. Perhaps it will escalate to a full-scale Israel-Iran war. So you only know what the first move, the first battle is, but how long and how many fronts it will extend to, this we'll only know after the fact.
Right.